And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us this Friday afternoon, 1:20 right now. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm with Ag Director Bridget Riedel and our guest today out of Oregon. He's a dairy farmer, an author, a keynote speaker. He's from TDF Honest Farming. We have Derrick Josi on the line with us today. And Derrick, thank you very much for taking some time out of your day to join us here on Weather and Ag in Focus. How is your day going so far today?
Oh, it's going pretty good. A lot better than last week. We had a freezing event, we had a monsoon, and then we had a windstorm, lost power. It was a week.
Oh
Today's much
no.
better.
I bet you it is. Well, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners and our viewers? Who are you? What do you do? Me and Bridget know, but there's some people out there that might not know exactly what it is that you do.
Yeah, so I'm a dairy farmer over in Tillamook, Oregon. Probably have heard of Tillamook cheese. That would be where my milk goes. And I spend my time, for better or for worse, trying to help bridge the gap between rural and urban consumers. And I might put activists in their place and kind of dispel all their myths while I'm at it online.
Right, and you make a lot of videos that you post up on YouTube and Facebook as well on just educating people on what it is, what you do, and kind of clearing up some of those myths, don't you?
Yeah. I post every day on Facebook. YouTube, I need to get better about remembering to put the videos on there too. Yeah, it's a daily video showing what I'm doing, talking about cows, showing cute jerseys because those are the most adorable cows known to man.
They definitely are adorable.
So for me, this totally warms my dairy farmer's daughter's heart. I love talking about dairy cows. We didn't have jerseys; we were Holsteins, but we're Midwest, so that probably explains a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, with your operation, you just put in a great big automated carousel, if I'm not mistaken, right, Derek?
Yeah, the last 2 years, December of 2020, I broke ground on a manure storage, and since then, I built all new facilities from the ground up, and it has been one adventure after another getting these facilities done. Between COVID lockdowns and COVID, and then supply chain issues, and we're I think we're lucky that we were only 6 months behind getting operational in the facilities, and they're not done yet. We're about 90% done. That last 10% seems to be probably going to take another 6 months.
So when you do this, when I say carousel, your cows come on to be milked all by themselves. They step on the carousel, the automated milking machines take over. So it's pretty much free will. Whenever a cow thinks I'm ready, she can go. That's pretty much the process, correct?
No, we have set milking times because the
Oh, you do?
carousel, I do, yeah, I still have guys putting machines on. I have a robot on the back end that does the post dip, but we aren't, no, it's set times.
Okay. And right, based on your set time in the morning, it's probably the middle of the night for you right now because you've likely been up a lot of hours already today.
Yeah, I was at work at 3 a.m. this morning and it's 11:30, so I just got in at 10 for breakfast, and after this, it is nap 30, that's for sure.
You know, I wanted to ask because you have a lot of the videos that you've made, and I've watched them. My wife watches some. We love your videos. We think they're very interesting, informative, because I don't come from any agriculture background at all. And you put it in such a great way that, like you said, bridges the gap between rural and urban. And you just do such a fantastic job at informing people on what the difference is. And I always get a kick out of it because seems like a recurring thing that always pops up, at least on the few videos that I've watched. Why are your cows so skinny? Why don't you feed them, Derek? Do you want to explain what the difference is between your cows and
Yeah.
maybe some of the cows people are seeing somewhere else?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they think of a cow or cattle, they're thinking of beef cattle. And You are absolutely right. It is a reoccurring theme, and it doesn't matter how many videos I do explaining it. Somebody new will come along and worry that my cows are not being fed properly. I like to compare dairy cattle would be like the greyhound of the dog industry, sleek, skinny, but not unhealthy at all. And then beef cattle would be like your bulldogs or something like that, where they're just husky. Dairy cattle are designed to be making milk, not muscle and fat for consumption.
Right. And your videos, they get millions. I mean, I think I've seen a few where they're in like the tens of millions of views. When did you start making these videos, and was there a moment where it just popped off and everything just started flowing and you're like, "Hey, this is kind of cool."
Yeah, I started in 2016, and I originally was planning on just being anonymous. That didn't work out so well. 2019 seems to be when it really started to kick off. Video, Facebook really was making a push to get video content on there, and well, I evidently can hold the phone all right and talk to it like an idiot out in the barn. So I was able to post videos, and we have pretty good cell service and Wi-Fi around here. So it's not like I'm waiting hours for a video to load. It's as far as rural goes, we have nice internet. But between that and the pandemic, yeah, people were stuck at home looking for something to do, and evidently a dairy farmer over in Oregon is more interesting than whatever they've been watching on Facebook, so it really blew up.
Well, we're glad
So
that they did
be
blow up.
Absolutely. And being in Oregon, okay, so that's not the first place most people think about big dairy operations. But Tillamook has been based in Oregon for quite some time. Is there a little bit of history you can share about Tillamook and why you're in the
Yeah,
location you are with
well,
them?
Tillamook is a farmer-owned co-op. My great grandpa was one of the people that helped coordinate all the local creameries into one group, and that was in 1915, I believe. So Tillamook has been a co-op since 1915 and is still based. Headquarters are still here in Tillamook, so it's a small, well-known dairy brand.
Yeah, I was just going to say you can call that small, but overall, your Tillamook is very well known, especially for the quality that it provides to those who are purchasing it. So you have a stellar reputation with your products that come out of your co-op. I'll say that much.
Thank you.
Derek, how long have you been doing dairy farming? Has this been something that you grew up in? Did you start doing this at some point, or how far back does this run in your family?
1918 is when my great grandfather started leasing the original 60 acres. So yeah, you could say it runs in the blood, because before that they were dairy farmers over in Switzerland. So I don't know how many generations on the other side of the pond.
Oh,
More
this
than
is
one
great.
or
Well,
two,
we're
I
speaking
bet.
with
Yeah.
Probably. We're speaking with Derrick Josi from TDF Honest Farming. If you'd like to join in on our conversation, ask a question, maybe just tell Derrick you love his videos, give us a call, 701-293-9000, or again, you can reach us via email at weatherorag@flagfamily.com. Now, Derrick, we got to hit bottom of the hour here really quick. When we come back, you got a book that's out. I want to know a little bit more about this book, so maybe we'll dive into that a little bit. So stay tuned. Weather and Ag in Focus. We'll be right back.
America's kids are our kids, and they're at risk. Parents are being told they should have no control over their kids' education, and states are taking over health decisions, even letting children decide their gender or to have an abortion. Now Rob Schmidt is on Newsmax all this holiday week, and he's warning about the real dangers to our kids. Rob Schmidt exposes the dangers of the woke agenda to our children and what the big media isn't telling you. Tune in tonight for Rob Schmidt and his special Kids at Risk. You'll be shocked by what you learn. Plus, watch Newsmax for Greta Van Susteren, Eric Bowling, and more for the real news you need to know. It's the hottest cable news channel on all major cable systems. Millions are switching to Newsmax for news they can trust. I watch Newsmax all the time. So this holiday week, check out Newsmax and Rob Schmidt tonight. Make the switch to Newsmax. You won't look back.
Hello, this is Elise Pucklich, and as another year winds down, all of us at Pucklich and Valley City want to thank you for your business. It's true that this time of the year, giving really is better than receiving. And during Chevy's Red Tag event, we're giving you special event savings on our largest Chevy inventory in months. So from our family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from everyone at Pucklich Chevrolet Buick GMC in Valley City. Have a safe and joyous holiday season.
Your new one-stop shop for the latest in news, weather, sports, and community happenings is WDAYRadioNow.com. Stay up to date online, on your phone, on the go. Interviews with newsmakers, all your favorite local shows on demand for those days when you don't want to miss anything. Get your forecasts so you're always in the know when it comes to the weather, and find information on our shows and personalities. If it's happening now, it's happening on WDAYRadioNow.com. That's WDAYRadioNow.com.
John, Renee, Drew, and Adam from Welton's Tire Service would like to say a sincere thank you for choosing them and putting your trust in their service. Welton's is pleased to serve customers like you who are such a blessing. Welton's Tire Service is wishing you a happy and safe new year. They are eagerly waiting to serve you once more in the coming year. Happy New Year 2023 from your friends at Welton's Tire Service on Main Street in Lisbon.
Don't ring in the new year the same old way this year. Help your family ring in 2023 with a getaway to Arrowwood Resort in Alexandria. Arrowwood's New Year's Eve package includes passes to the Big Splash Indoor Water Park and breakfast for 4. A 2-night stay is required. New Year's Eve entertainment at Arrowwood is family friendly, and there's going to be some dancing. There's always activities for kids, and you can relax at the Darling Reflection Spa. Say Happy New Year with Arrowwood Resort. Call 866-386-5263 or visit arrowwoodresort.com.
The North Dakota State College of Science Apprenticeship Program is having an open house. This event allows you to meet and greet with leaders and program specialists to learn more about how apprenticeships can help you develop and grow a highly skilled workforce. There are opportunities in numerous fields, and North Dakota State College of Science works with you to create your customized training solution. Attend the open house Thursday, January 12th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. at 1305 19th Avenue North in Fargo. The North Dakota State College of Science Apprenticeship Open House. Thursday, January 12th, 4:30 to 6 p.m. Your friends at Satram Hyam Seed would like to say, may the new year find you and your family enjoying good health, happiness, peace, and the best of everything else life has to offer. Thanking you for your business in 2022, they look forward to working with you again. See Satram for all your seed requirements and sales and service as well. Proudly serving area farmers since 1978. A name you've grown to trust. Happy New Year from Satram Hyam Seed, Page, North Dakota.
Welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridget Riedel, Ag Director, along with Justin Storm, meteorologist. And you've come at just the right time to help us interview and listen to our guest, Derrick Josi. Derrick is an Oregon dairy farmer who's also very popular on social media, such as YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And he's answering all our questions, sort of myth-busting dairy, but more importantly, talking about why he uses his farm as such a prime example of great things that farmers do. So, Derrick, that leads me to my question for you. First off the bat is, what's the greatest myth that people come across and ask you about dairy farming? There has to be one very common theme that they ask about.
The greatest myth is probably the cow-calf separation, and how the cows cry for days and days and the calves are miserable. That over and over again, that is the myth that I hear constantly. Or I can go on and on. We already touched on dairy cows being too skinny. The other myths are cows are bad for the environment, or cows are destroying the environment. Cows are causing global warming, climate change, you name it. Cows get blamed for everything. It's a bit
Well,
ridiculous.
they can't speak for themselves. They can't speak for themselves. That's why they have you. You're going to have to share all that message. And let's go back to what you said about the cow-calf separation and that the calves are so distraught by being taken away from their mama cow. What's your answer to those who ask that question?
Well, I do video. I take the calf away on live on video and put it in the calf pen. It's really that simple. And then I show the cow. She's over at the bunk eating. Like, oh, great. The childcare showed up. All right. I like to explain to people that, once again, dairy cattle are like the working moms and beef cattle are the stay-at-home moms. And dairy cattle really don't have the maternal instinct that a beef cow. And a lot of beef ranchers have been very shocked to see me be able to just go in and grab a calf and walk away. And they're like, yeah, you don't do that with a beef cow.
You can with jerseys. You can with jerseys. I'll tell you from experience, Holsteins didn't. There was always that one that didn't like it, but jerseys seemed pretty calm. So
yeah,
it's a difference.
Well, let's transition into the book you have, because Bridget was like, "Oh yeah, I've read his book before," and I'm like, "Wait, Derrick has a book?" I was looking into it. Why don't you explain to our listeners what your book is and what it is about a little bit?
Yeah, it's called An Industry Worth Fighting For. It's about the dairy industry. I know that's shocking. It was my way of putting in long form all the myth busting I do. I break down all the myths and misconceptions in there in a very entertaining way, a lot like I do online. There's chapters on, sustainability. I think the title of that chapter is Sustainability, whatever that actually means, because depending on who you talk to about sustainability, it means a million different things. So I dive into the fact that agriculture and dairy farming is very sustainable, the fact that we reuse a lot of feedstuffs that otherwise would have to go to landfills because they're byproducts of things we're making for humans that we can't eat. So it's just a very educational book, but it's entertaining enough that people don't get bored.
Well, I've seen some of the reviews of it online, and it's got like 5 stars on Amazon, like 5,000 reviews, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have to give this book a read. So I think I'm gonna have to go and find it on Amazon when we're done with this. So
there's one.
Maybe Bridget's generous enough to lend me her copy.
Yeah, there's no. You have to buy it. No, don't let him borrow it. There's one review on Amazon that always gets me chuckling. It goes something like, "My dad got me this for Christmas. I do not appreciate this. I am vegan." Something like that, and it just made me laugh so hard.
But that's the point of your book, because you are daily being blindsided, probably not anymore because it happens daily, by vegans. And I'm going to call it militant vegans because they are. That's what they do. I've gotten into some brawls with them as well on social media, and they're trying to tell you how everything you do is wrong. And that's what your book shows, is that you don't. So do you think that anybody who has read your book from the vegan point of view has gone, maybe I have something wrong here? Maybe they've learned from it.
I don't know about the book, but I do get messages every once in a while from vegans that, or people that were leaning vegan, that were going to cut out dairy because of all the stuff they'd seen. And now they're feeling much better and more comfortable with their dietary choices. And that's what drives me the most insane, is the fear and the propaganda that pushes people away from highly nutritious options on their plate out of fear.
Right.
Hey, Reagan.
So what does the dairy farm or industry kind of look like right now? I mean, what has changed over the last, say, 10, 20 years? What's different? Is it going in an upward direction, a downward direction? What are your thoughts on that?
It's a mixed bag, honestly. The technology and everything's continuing to get better. It's amazing. milk prices are halfway decent right now, but everything else is up too, so you see a lot of money coming in and a lot of money just going right back out. But I mean, it's still an industry that you can hope for the next generation to take over if they want to. Do you want to be a dairy farmer when you grow up? Maybe
Maybe too soon to tell. So one of the big things that happened around here recently is we had so many storms. And as you mentioned, Derrick, you've had the monsoon, the ice, all of those things where power was out, et cetera, for you. And we've had roads blocked due to snowstorms. A question I have had often in the last week is, why do dairy farmers have to dump milk in a storm like that? Has that happened recently where you've had to dump some milk? I mean, I know the answers to why that is, but is it happening out west as well?
It did actually, in the Willamette Valley and a few other places. There was a couple, I think at least a 24-hour window where the co-ops were like, you're going to have to dump milk. The roads are too risky because they had milk trucks going obviously into ditches and things like that. And yeah, most people probably don't understand that when milk is harvested from the cow or milked from the cow, you have basically a 24-hour window to get it to the processing plant, because milk is a perishable product. So you, if you can't get it there, you have to put it down the drain, and it's always heartbreaking, but you kind of expect
But it
that
has
kind
to
of
be
stuff
done.
sometimes in the winter.
Right.
What are you doing?
And if you're out of storage capacity, it's not like cows are standing around in the barn going, don't worry
Right.
about me, I'll be fine. You just let me know when you're ready. No, they
Yeah,
got to go now.
The cows have to be continued to be milked. Yep.
Right. Well, a lot of people, especially, half of our audience, because we're really big around ag around our area, but, we're focused in the largest city in North Dakota. So for our urban listeners who maybe some of them don't understand the whole process of where the milk comes from, how it gets turned to cheese, all of that, you don't just go to the store and pick up a brand new gallon of milk like, it comes from the store. What does a day in the life of a dairy farmer look like, and what's that operation like that leads up to me being able to walk into the store and grab a gallon of milk for a few bucks?
Oh, well, every dairy farmer is obviously different. For those of you that can't see what's going on, my daughter, 4-year-old daughter, has just crawled in my lap and has decided to take over this interview.
It's going great. I can tell you right now, she's doing a spectacular job over there.
She is, yes. I am at work at 3 a.m. I start feeding cows. We start milking cows. Usually in from the barn at 8:30 for breakfast. Then you do your computer work. Spend some time with the monkey here. And then your routine, and I'm really generalizing this because there's a lot more that goes into it, but are you repeating me? Yeah. And then in the afternoon, it's the same routine. So you're up at 3 a.m. and I try and be in bed by 9 p.m. every night.
Mm-hmm.
You know you're supposed to be good when I'm doing it later, right?
So Derrick, we've got other farmers who are listening today, folks that are grain farming, beef, sheep and hog operations. What advice do you have for them to talk about what they do on a regular basis? Any suggestions you want to make sure that others are doing as well as what you do?
You mean like if they want to do what I do online?
Or at least somehow find a way to talk about what they do farming wise so that there's not so many misconceptions about it.
Well, whether that's at your local coffee shop or online or wherever you choose to do your advocating for our industries, be yourself. Have a conversation. Don't try and lecture people, because I know I don't like being lectured, and nobody else does either. So when you start lecturing people about farming, they just turn it off. They don't listen. Try and make it personal. Obviously, if they have kids and you have kids, it's a good way to bridge a gap. isn't it, Reagan? So those would be some suggestions I have.
Right, and we've been speaking with Derrick Josi today, a dairy farmer out of Oregon. He's the author of a book, An Industry Worth Fighting For, and he does a lot on social media with YouTube, mostly Facebook, on just bridging the gap between urban and agriculture and informing people on what it is that he does, how it works, and what are those myths, and are they real or are they fake? Well, most of them are not true, but it's been very fun to catch up with you, Derrick, and learn a little bit more about what it is you do and your outreach on social media. If people want to get more information, they want to maybe find your book or your videos, where can they go to, whether that's Facebook or a website, so they can get more of that information?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as TDF Honest Farming.
Even on things.
Yeah. You can find me at Derrick Josi on Twitter. My website is tdfhonestfarming.com. I'm on LinkedIn as Derrick Josi. I think that covers. Oh, and An Industry Worth Fighting For is available on Amazon.
$10.
Oh, great.
What about you, Megan?
She's just happy to be here.
She very much is. Well, thank you very much, Derrick, for taking some time out of your busy day, and you're probably trying to get to a little nap here. So again, just thank you for taking some time to chat with us and inform our audience a little bit on what it is that you do and how it all works. So we hope you have a great rest of your afternoon and a happy New Year's.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.